Hey, welcome to another one of Todd's 2-Minute Tech Tip Tuesday, brought to you by the National RV Training Academy. Hey, before we get to the video, which I know this is the reason why you're here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button now. Thank you. Now, back to our Tech Tip Tuesday. I'm taking a break for a while over here at the NRVTA and providing you some wonderful tech tips. However, we've had a lot of our instructors come in and help out, but I'm back in the saddle, not only to help with tech tips, but answer your questions. So, thank you for holding on. I know you've been rooting for me.
Michael Mears, 4852. My only hesitation with bleach. My only hesitation is the only thing that he could come up with.
And I'm 99% sold. Okay. So we're talking probably about sanitizing system.
Yep. I see people saying to bypass the tankless water heater. I have a Truma AquaGo. Not sure. One, if it's really necessary. And two, how even bypass it.
Okay. So, all right. So it all depends on how it was installed by the manufacturer, right? You'd have to look at the back of the tankless water heater to see if there's actually a bypass valve. So you're going to see that you'll have some shutoff valves. Is there a bypass valve as well to bypass that? Now, you're talking about, bleach. You may not want to run that through there or bypass it. It's just going to run through the system, and what we're trying to do is just kill whatever's growing inside, right? If you don't want to use bleach, why not switch to hydrogen peroxide? Now, with the hydrogen peroxide, just use a whole bottle. Get the brown bottle, 3%, 32 ounces, pour that into your holding tank, fill that up, and use the system, right? So if you don't like bleach, you can use hydrogen peroxide. Second question is, can you run it through? Yes, you can run the hydrogen peroxide through. Bleach, be hesitant because of the copper and plastic pieces that are sitting in there, unless you're at the right level, 50 parts per million or less. But also check, like I said, the back of the, so you're going to have to figure out where your tankless water heater is. How do you approach the back of it? It's usually what a tech is for. And see if there's actually a bypass valve set up on it.
All right, at LYD, awesome videos, great beard. Hopefully, I will be attending NRVTA in 2026.
Hopefully he's going to grow one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I tried once. I just looked homeless. I have a question about repacking my wheel bearings, or basically doing any tire removal.
Yeah.
I've traveled full time, and I have my bearings repacked every year.
Yeah.
Since I'm on the road full time and lack jacks, I always take it to a shop to do my repacking.
Yeah.
I would like to use my hydraulic leveling rams to lift my RV and cautiously do one wheel at a time. What are your thoughts and recommendations? It sounds like he really wants to do this, and he's wording it like I'm.
And he's just looking for someone to sign off on it.
I just want somebody to go, yeah, that's all right.
Okay. Well, all right, safety. That's the only thing. The hydraulic, if your RV is strong enough, the hydraulic system is strong enough to pick the RV up off the ground, yes. The problem is if there's a leak or something while you're under it, right? So I always have to think about safety. So we do use jacks to put up under there in the event that the hydraulics give out, right? You're saying you don't have any, and I bet it's because you travel full time and you don't have a place for them, okay? I'm not going to recommend to you to use them without the jacks, without any type of support, just because, well, y'all would sue me if I did. But two, safety, so is it possible? Yes. There's your tech tip.
We've seen other people do it. Well, actually, I've seen somebody
in judgment
raise it up, but then they put a bunch of blocks of wood under there.
Yeah.
So if it did fail,
you crib it.
Cribs. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I was going to say dunnage, but I don't think that's the word.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying what you're learning so far in this tech tip and you want to learn more, why don't you hop on over to the National RV Training Academy, contact your local student advisor where you can start a business, make money while traveling, and be able to help out your fellow campers. Visit NRVTA.com.
All right. Todd Osborne, 3501,
Like your
asks,
name.
New RV is 50 amp. Old RV was 30 amp.
You got 20 amps more.
I have a 30 amp load protector. Do I have to buy a 50 amp Bulldog now?
Yes.
There's your tech tip.
Yeah. So it's not gonna monitor correctly, right? And it's gonna see that there may be a variance on the neutral coming back. It's just best to go ahead and swap that out.
All right. Tina Bond, 8946, asks, my 12-volt fridge quit cooling at all. Took it to the dealer and they replaced the entire refrigerator yesterday. That's a common thing with 12-volt fridges. They just whoop, whole thing. Took it out to a campground today, and now I have an E3 error. Any suggestions on what to do?
Yeah, tell me what type of brand of fridge you have. E3 for Dometic is probably going to be low voltage. Okay. Possibly Norcold E3 could be that. We're still trying to verify that, but first thing to do is check voltage, right? So you're going to have voltage at the battery. You said you were off grid, right? So that lets me know you've probably been using it for a little bit.
Took it to a campground.
Took it to a campground. That still didn't help out.
Yeah. We need, you know what, Tina, if you watch this, go into the comments and give us a little, like, what brand is it? You know, what kind of, are you running, anything
You got
extra?
Hot Point, you got Camp Chef, Norcold, and of course Dometic.
Yeah.
Just let us know. We'll do the research for you and get you the answer.
All right. Anthony Ginther 6008 says, I have a 2022 GeoPro camper with a lead acid battery and has no lithium battery setting in my power center converter. I want to switch to a 100 amp hour lithium battery. What is the easiest way to do the switch so the lithium battery will get the proper charge? Thanks for any help you can offer.
So without any solar on top of the roof, because the solar probably could top it off if the solar controller can handle lithium. You've already confirmed that your converter does not handle lithium. Simplest way is to swap out the existing converter with one that is lithium capable. A lot of brands out there. The one I would always look for one that has a button or specifically dialed in for lithium. Okay, if it has to guess, we can always put it in a situation where it guesses wrong. So find one that's either built for lithium or has a switch.
What's that Victron one you always use, that little one?
The IP22 lithium charger.
And that's fairly inexpensive.
Very inexpensive compared to all the others. It's only 30 amp charge, but if you have a lithium battery, you don't need much more. The lithium battery is going to get your landing gear down, going to get your slides
That's
out.
just one of them.
Yeah. There's your tech tip. All right, before you get to the bloopers, which is why you're here in the first place, the RV industry needs thousands of RV technicians and inspectors, and now is the perfect time to do that. If you want to make more money or have more control over your time, go ahead and click the link below. Or if you just want to learn how to fix your own RV, got something for you there. Head over to rvtechcourse.com and get started today. Now, for the reason that you're out there in the video, roll the bloopers.
All right.
Hi, welcome back. And just as makeup.
I'm Bond. Tina Bond. That was a good one.
Tina Bond?
Tina Bond.
Tina Bond?
Tina Bond, yeah.
Oh,
Be like LYD.
I don't know what LID is.
She was the one that said, awesome videos, great beer.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Lid.
Lid.